Like it's worthless. It's literally worthless. The only thing that's worth is Yahweh. But I'll keep on dragging on the same thing. Let me go on. Now this is the book of I'll go to Wisdom of Solomon. Just to prove to you that we are the gold also. Next to the vessels of Yahweh of the house of the Lord. Look, the house of the Lord is talking about where the vessels and the Ark of the Covenant was in. The Ark of the Covenant, you know, the temple. First it was in the tabernacle, which is the tent. Then you had the golden vessels up in there too and stuff like that. And then later on, when King Solomon built the temple, then you had independent storage rooms where they put the gold and the silver. Yeah. So this is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. I like this chapter very much, by the way. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. Because the wise always, well, they've been dying a lot of times, right? Some of them perish even, very violently, you know. If you read the book of Hebrews, I think 11 or 10, no, I think 11, no, I'm not sure. Where they was talking about that, you know, prophets were torn apart, man. Torn apart. Tie them to horses or whatever, or sawn apart with a saw. Saw them in half. They did that. Anyway, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. Because they're thinking about the immortal life that they're going to get once that time comes, for the reward of going through these torments and tortures and violent, excruciating, painful deaths and all that there type of stuff, you know? Like the Lord Yahweh Shai. Verse 5. So Wisdom of Solomon 3:5. And having been a little chastised, that's nothing. The little pain that you go through, that's nothing. That's just a little bit. For the little suffering that we go through, suffering with the Lord Yahweh Shai, you will be rewarded by the Lord Yahweh Shai and with the Lord Yahweh Shai. You know? The sufferings that we go through now is nothing compared to the blessings that we will get once that kingdom is set up. But you gotta fight for it, work for it, die for it. Even. Verse 5. Well, verse 5. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace had he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And why do you burn gold? To make it pure. If you look it up, type in Google, why do you need to burn gold and silver? To purify it, because it has a lot of these other elements within it, in the gold and stuff like that. You got stone, you got just any type of zinc, you got copper, you got all these things within the gold. So you need to burn it, and then once you burn it, then it becomes very bright yellow like the sun, and it never corrodes. You know how rusts grows, because the Most High created gold to be a special thing. You know, it doesn't grow fungus or mold. You know, it doesn't rust. Gold doesn't rust. It doesn't grow fungus or mold. You know, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't have that. It could grow dust. It's catching dust right now in those so-called Fort Knox. I'm not talking about the one in America. I'm talking about these fortresses that they have where they keep the gold. It's collecting dust there. They did it for us, by the way. They're collecting the gold for the Jacob descendants, because we're going to deck out the kingdom with it. It's very conductive. It's like electricity, conductivity, and stuff like that. Example, in all the computers up on the planet Earth, the telephones, all that there's gold in there, and they need it because the gold is a conductor. It has some property of conductivity or something like that within it, and then therefore you need it. So if you Google this, right, YouTube search bar, if you YouTube search bar this, how people in India make gold from electronics, they burn a lot of electronics, hundreds of grams or something like that, kilograms even. All that plastic, all the chips, they burn everything. Boy, if you see the fumes that they inhalating, these people are gonna be very hurting by the time that they are like, I don't know, 70 or something like that, 60 maybe, I don't know. But they're gonna suffer, man. Breathing all those things, and also the chemicals that they use in order for them to extract the gold. It's crazy, man. I saw that process. If I remember it, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. This is what people do for gold. Let me see, gold. Out of electronics, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Man, you just looking at it makes you start coughing like, hey, what the fuck is that? Turn away the TV or something. Well, it's not a TV. I'm not watching TV. It's my PC monitor. Anyway, I just clicked the X, man. I'm just making a joke, but I'm just showing you that that it looks toxic, and it is. my voice dropped. Anyway, toxic. I said toxic. Anyway, so going back to Jeremiah. Okay, so we are the gold and the silver of Yahweh, right? Symbolically. So Joel chapter 3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and at that time shall I bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Meaning he's going to break it. If you read the book of Psalms 126, it's going to explain a little bit better. I'm not going to grab it right now. You can do that if you want to, if you have the time. Psalms 126 explains it a little bit, not thoroughly, but it's good enough. But yeah, so it going on, because the Most High is going to make us rejoice. He's going to break away the yoke of the people of the world that got the yoke upon Jacob. He's going to break the curse that he put in the book of Daniel chapter 9 verse 10 until verse 12 or 13. He's going to break that curse. 12:2. So Joel 3:2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is Yahweh's judgment, which is Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, which is his gold and his silver, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. You can interpret that a few different ways. Back in the days, they would give a slave for hey, you want some pussy or something like that. Exchange. You could say exchange, but they did the other one too. If you watch this documentary / film, it's not a movie, it's a film. Well, a movie is a film. You could say what you want to, but in this case, I differentiate them. Fancy word. Never could pronounce that shit, but I like that word. Differentiate. I like that word. It's a dumbass word, but it's kind of funny. Anyway, so they make a difference between them, which is in this case, I make a difference between a film and a movie. A movie is the thing that you watch that's all scripted, and a film is like a documentary, but you made a film of it. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, it's called shit. What the fuck? Goodbye Uncle Tom, something like that. If I'm correct, it was Goodbye Uncle Tom. And then you could see that they actually did sell the boys as harlots, and they paint them in gold and silver. Type in Google Goodbye Uncle Tom, and then you type in golden boys and silver boys, and then you will see what they did to the Jacob descendant boys. And they messed them up so bad that they thought it was a good thing, so they wanted to be taken advantage of. They wanted to be like, no, take me, pick me, because Esau came there in the barn. It's a fucking harlot house full of little boys. He came there in the barn, and then the boys already knew. It's like this. Check this out. If you go to certain places in Thailand, and if you're a so-called black man, if you're a so-called Latino man, and you go there, then female prostitutes would come up to you because it's Thailand. Certain places, they do that. You know, their mind is warped like that. That's how they get their money. That's how they survive. But in those same streets, if an Edomite was to go over there, then them little boys would run up to you talking about, hey, take me, $5, shit like that. Hey, it's crazy shit. But that shows you that they're used to that shit. You know, that's how they grow up. That's how they live, man. That's how they do their thing. And that's the same example of what happened in that film, Goodbye Uncle Tom. That's what you see right there. That's what they do to the little boys in those places, Thailand and stuff like that, and you know, Cambodia and, you know, Philippines and all these type of places. That's what they do. That's what they did to the boys over there. So that movie, history repeats itself, man. They did it to the Jacob descendants there in that time, and they're doing it now to the. That's why Pacquiao, he said like sodomites are like beasts. They're lower than beasts, and then they pull all the sponsors from him, because he was angry because in his country then Esau turned them out into sodomites, man. All the women, they basically are accepted to leave and then go to these places here in Europe and all that their type of stuff, and then they give them jobs and all that there. So now they're the ones that are providing for the men over there. Boy, if you watch these documentaries, you will see that all these places, right, is the women taking care of the men, man. That's some crazy shit, man. Japheth has it. A lot of Japhetic type of places have it, man, where the women, they are the ones that are bringing in the money, and then the men stay at home, and then they turn themselves into bitches because they want money too, and then they basically sell themselves for the Edomites, man. That's how they get their money, because there ain't no jobs over there. Once you see them documentaries, you be like, God damn, Esau fucked the whole world up, man. And hey, that's what the fuck is going on, man. And in India, I'll put the link in the description box, because I think of a village right now in India itself. You have the same thing. Sorry, the same thing. So these are, I think they're Dalit. So they might be Israelites and stuff like that. You know, I'll say Israelites are among them. And wait. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description box. You can check it out for yourself. The Elam. So in that country of Elam, you have certain type of villages, right, where Elam make sure that they know that there's their bloodline, and that's why I think that they're Israelites too. But they know their bloodline, and then therefore they put them in the lowest caste, underneath the lowest caste in India, and then they do that, and then they make them, they make sure that they don't get jobs. They don't work. They haven't been working for generations. They haven't been working for more than a century, more than 100 years. They haven't been working. And you know who set that up? England. England set that up, because when the Edomites came, oh, like I said, I'm gonna show you that documentary. It's England did that. Edomites came there, and then they saw those people, how they were independent from the rest of the India people. So they made it to where they broke everything down that they had. They started to rest in them. They weren't allowed to practice their own works, which is a lot of belly dancers. There was the women were a lot of dancers and stuff like that. Men did their little thing too. Like I said, I'm gonna put the link in the description box. But the men did their thing too, and the women were belly dancers. And then the Edomites from England came, and they saw how these people were independent from the rest of the people that they were conquering and putting under them. And then they said, you know what, fuck it. Everybody of you India people, you need to work against those people. And then he broke their system. So I think there was Jakes, man. But you know what's fucked up right now? It turned around, because nobody wants to have anything to do with them. No business, nothing. So what do they do? They sell themselves, right? They have to sell themselves. They're known as prostitutes over there, man. They're known as prostitutes, man. And that's the fucked up part. And you know what's also fucked up? A lot of them get pregnant from the actual Elam people, you know? So a lot of those kids are, you could say, their babies, man. You know, you could say it, you know, Esau is actually the dear baby creator, But I hope you understand what I mean. I mean that you have a lot of these Elam people in their womb making children already for a few 80 something 50, 60 years, whatever, something like that. A lot of them are Elam, you know. And that's fucked up. But yeah, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself, to where you could actually see for yourself, like, oh shit, you know, that's what they're doing. But it's Esau that set that thing up. But yeah, yeah, enough of that. So the Heavenly Father willing, they're gonna pay. And that's why you have the book of Isaiah chapter 11 verse 11, where the Most High said that he will come in the midst of Elam and he will gather up his Jacob descendant children from there. You also have the Sidi people. Now those are Afro people, but they live in India and stuff like that. Those, they're called Sidi with a S-I-D-D-I, and they also live in Pakistan. So when you see them, boy, some of them look just, and Iran also, Iran, some of them look just like, boy, I seen a few. I was like, this motherfucker look like a cousin of mine or some shit like that. I was like, what the fuck? Some of them look like they're from South America, Brazil. And then you know them Brazil faces. You can see them. You know, they got some in them. And they look like them there. But they live in fucking Iran. Be like, this guy look like he from South America, man. He look like he from Brazil or something like that. Or from, you know, one of the other countries down there that speak Latin. Look like them. They look like them, you know. But anyway, but the Most High is gonna clean all that up. He's gonna wipe all that up. He's gonna sweep it with the hail of he's gonna sweep it with the hail of the refuge of lies. Which is, oh yeah, Isaiah 28 and 17. Judgment also will I lay to the line, so measure. The Most High is gonna measure it up, man. If you cross that line, Most High is going, you know, boy, the righteous is gonna scarcely make it. So the righteous is gonna be very close to that line when that judgment comes. But anyway, you know, if it was like once, boy, one breath, one millimeter to the left, or maybe the right, the bad, you know, and you would be across that line, boy, you gonna get got, boy. Anyway, so Isaiah 28 and 17, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. Plummet is that thing to wherewith you can actually, back in the days they used to do it in order to measure if the building was straight. You know, it's a line. If you Google it, you're gonna see plummet. I still have it in the house. I used to use that back in the days. It's an old thing, you don't do it no more, but I can't throw it away. I'm almost like a hoarder. To a certain degree, I just keep this shit. It's an old shit, so I know about it. So that's one of the reasons why I knew when I read it, I knew what it was talking about. A plummet. You know, it's like copper, and then a line tied to it, and then when you hold it, it's actually very stupid right now because you can have a linear thing and stuff like that. Just something better, triangle, something. I don't know. A measurement. It's much better nowadays. So that thing ain't real accurate. But yeah, anyway, righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. So the Most High is going to use hail for healing and also hail for destruction at the same time. So as it is falling, you know, it's going to fall very soft upon the ones that are not measured to die, and the ones that are measured to die, boy, big ass boulders is going to come and crush your skull. That's how the Most High is going to sweep away the refuge of lies with his hail. And that's in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 3, when the Most High said he brought this word through hail, snow, earthquake, and what else? Earth, snow, and fire. Yeah, and fire. So, right then and there. That's one of the ways. Hail. Anyway, go back. Now it says right here. So Joel 3:2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon? The Tyrians are Sidonians. You can read that in the book of 1 Kings chapter 5 verse 6. Right, they're Sidonians. Because I was looking around back in the days, in the beginning, very, very long time ago. I was looking, I was like, who are the Tyranians? Because I don't see no son of Canaan named Tyre. No, Tyre is a city inhabited by Sidonians. Anyway, so what? Verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon? Which is Tyre and Sidon, the cities. Sidon is a man. Sometimes it's spelled with an S. In this case, in this verse, it's spelled with a Z. Going on. Tyre and Sidon and all the coasts of Palestine, which are Mizraim, because they're the Philistines. In the book of Genesis 10, it says Kasluhim. He's the father, Mizraim, and then his son is Kasluhim. And Kasluhim is the father of Philistim. And Philistim is the father of the Philistines. So they're Mizraim. And the Most High brought them there. He brought them from the island of Kaptor, which is their uncle. They were living with their uncles. And then the Most High caused them to come live in the land of Canaan, because he wanted to set them up against the Israelites that he knew that was going to go off. And you can read about that in Judges chapter 3, and also Judges chapter Judges chapter 2, and also Judges chapter 3. You can read about that. Look, I don't like being close to the shit, but I don't want the wind to fall, to make the thing fall. Kind of expensive, the camera. I don't want it to fall, so I'm very close to it. I hate that shit, believe me. But if I was like in a different place where I could stationary the thing, then I would just sit all the way in the back. Lord willing, I'll do that one day. I just go to a park or something like that, and maybe next year or something like that, I'm gonna switch up spot and then go to the park or something like that. It doesn't matter as long as the word is coming out. I'll think about it, man. I wasn't really thinking about it. I don't know. I'll see about it. Maybe at one time or something like that. I don't know. See what I feel. Feel in the spirit. I feel myself. I hate that word. I feel when somebody opens a sentence and he be like, I feel like, shut the fuck up. What do you mean you feel? You mean you think? Well, I think like, yeah, it sounds better. Stop saying I feel. Opening a sentence as a man by saying, I feel like, man, shut the fuck up, man. Fuck you mean you feel? Soften up your nipples, nigga. Fucking hard ass nipples right there. So it says right here, yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. So who did that? As it is written, it was the Sidonians that did that. But we were cool with them. But this shows you that it don't matter how fucking cool you are with them, Most High is going to put that spirit on them to come and fight your ass. Because that's explained in the book of Judges chapter 2 and Judges chapter 3. It's explained thoroughly. Like, you think you buddy with them? I'm going to show you. Most High is going to show you. Because you have to understand, they worship Satan. Can two walk together except they be agreed? These people don't worship Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. You might have individuals that are your friend and all that. You might have individuals of them that honor Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. That doesn't necessarily specifically mean that they're Israelites. So I'm talking loose of that, because Cyrus was not an Israelite, Darius was not an Israelite, but the Most High still used them. Especially he anointed Cyrus. So that don't mean anything. The kingdom is not for him. The Most High used him to actually release the kingdom from the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, which he's doing right now. The Most High is releasing us from the grip of the modern day Nebuchadnezzar, which is Esau. The house of Esau, the house of Amalek, and all that there type of stuff. Just like the house of Israel, the house of Judah, they are separate, because a lot of these Edomites, they hate Amalek, man. They hate them gypsies too, man. They fucking hate them, especially them Spaniards, man. But you know what's beautiful about the Spaniards? They can't do shit because their own government is fucking them over, man. Boy, if you go to France or Spain, boy, there's a lot of goddamn pickpocketing ass motherfucking Amalekites over there. They're Turkish, Amalek, Gypsies, all of them. Elam, all of those motherfuckers. Boy, they steal everything that's locked down, man. They say like he steals everything that's not locked down. Well, they steal things that are locked down too. They steal out your pocket. They steal, boy, if they could, they would steal birds and I don't know, sell them or something, or eat them. I don't know, man. They steal things. I see birds right here. That's why I said it. You know, pigeons. They're all over the place. Yeah, that's what they do, man. That's Amalek. Those are the Amalekites that couldn't control themselves nor to build up a foundation system like how the Amalekites of Israel did it. These are the ones that went to Islam, and these are the ones that went with the India people, and then they came as together as one, and then they became the so-called known gypsies, as people call them. Well, they call themselves Romani, and the bigger, not biggest, but bigger bulk of them is in Romania. That's one of the reasons they call themselves Romani. Ain't nobody call them that. They call them gypsies. And they hate their guts. They always steal. Everywhere they go, they steal. They lie, they beg. They love begging. Boy, 2 weeks ago, I think two Saturdays ago, when I came over here, they were begging again. And they was asking me, and then they come with their music, the organ instrument thing, and they play that, and then make a lot of goddamn sound, and they pass around a plastic cup to put money up in there. But they drive BMWs. You playing? There's this Dutch guy that went around and started sniping them. He made videos about them. He was secretly taping them, but he blurred their faces and stuff like that. But a few of them he showed their faces, but later on he blurred it. But anyway, he blurred the the sign of the car. I forgot how that thing is. The license plate. He blurred the license plate, but it was they got BMWs, man. They begging and during the day, and at night when they stop, then they go into their BMWs or their fancy car, and then they drive off. That's who they are. That's who they are. They're very cunning, wise, filthy Amalekites. Very disgusting too. They're still the shit from you, bro. I met a few that were cool cat, you know what I'm saying? But as a whole, I'm talking about a whole. They'll thief the shit out you, boy. And I remember one being with an Elam too, and it was an Elamite from not India, but another place. When you look at him, he looked like he from India. He looked kind of almost Arabian too, but he was Elam, he was Elam. And back in the days, I didn't understand it. I was thinking to myself, huh? You people are known to be with each other, and how come this guy is allowed to marry your sister? Because it was arranged by his parents, and I always thought that was weird. Now I know, like, oh, you motherfuckers are Elam and Amalek mixed up in a bunch of in a cesspool. But yeah, anyway, they're Amalek, man. Do you have Israelites amongst them? Sure you do. Going on. So Isaiah 3 and let me see. Isaiah 3 and 3. I already read that. Oh yeah. 5. Oh yeah, I already read that. So basically, we are the gold and the silver of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Now, going back to, not going back to, but Psalms 49 and 6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. That's what's happening right now. You have a lot of lovers of self that think that the money is going to save them from the pending destruction that's coming. Like they're going to pay off soldiers or something like that. The beard is coming up. Like they're going to pay off soldiers when, because the book of Ezekiel 38, or is it 37? No, it's 38. Ezekiel 38 shows you that no silver, they will take no silver, they will take no gold. So it already warns you that once the soldiers come, The Most High is going to make it to where they're not going to desire so-called gold and so-called silver. Just like how I explained to you, well, I try to explain to you that the gold and silver is worthless. Well, that's the type of spirit that the Most High is going to put upon them. They're not going to, hey boy, you can't buy yourself out of judgment, boy. You know? The Most High is going to put men upon the planet Earth that will come with smoke coming up out their mouth, yo, up out their nose, and like they breathing, fire breathing dragon type of people or something like that. And those are the type of people that the Most High is going to let loose on the Jacob descendants, man. They're going to come upon the Edomites too, man, you know, but they're not the main target, you know, the main target of me that I'm talking toward. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the Jacob descendants in the midst of them, first and foremost. And I'm also talking to the Jacob descendants that look like us, like the natives and that we are known that to look like us. The natives and the so-called Afros and stuff like that. Right. Wow, she anyway. Let me go on. So it says right here. Okay. So Psalms 49:6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. Luke chapter 2 is written for you. Which is that basically you're going to be cursed because of what was it again? I'm thinking. Yeah, he was not rich toward the Most High. You are not rich toward the Heavenly Father. Yeah, that one. So I don't need to get it. That's what I wanted. So what the fuck, man? Some fucking tickly shit is flying around. So it says right here, Psalms 49:6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None of them can by any means redeem his brother. So, you know, with all your money that you have, you got this favorite Jacob descendants, friend of yours, family members of yours. Let's say you make it. You're one of the rich men that was mentioned in Luke 19. You know, one of the rich sons of Jacob, sons of Abraham, the rich ones that did make it, right? Let's say the Most High decided that he's going to choose you of one of the rich Jacob descendants, right? And you might have a friend, and then you know you're willing to give up all the billions of dollars and golds or whatever you got just to save him. Let me read it again for you. None of them, so Psalms 49:7. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to the Most High a ransom for him. So you're not gonna get away from that judgment, man. Once that judgment is coming down, Ezekiel 38 also explains to you, like, you can't do anything, man. All you could do is just kiss your ass goodbye, trying to bend over backwards and kiss it, because that's the last kiss you're gonna get, you know, the last kiss you're gonna get ever, and the last kiss you're gonna give too. So verse 8, for the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever, that he should still live forever and not see corruption. Basically that you don't die, but you're going to die, because the Most High is going to make it to where you are going to decay. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, if I'm correct, yeah, verse 50 on down, that speaks about that, and this flesh and blood cannot inherit this incorruption. Sorry, man. This corrupt cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven, and this flesh cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. So we must needs be changed. But you're gonna remain here and be turned into ashes. You know, there's certain places on the planet Earth where nuclear missiles won't drop. So you're not gonna turn to ashes then. You're not gonna turn to ashes then. But guess what? That's when the Most High is gonna, the Lord Yahushua is going to say to his soldiers, he's gonna say, those that would not want me to reign over them, bring hither and slay before me. Because those places, you're going to have Jacob descendant, warrior men, going down there, and then snatching them up, grabbing them, and then bringing them in front of the Lord Yahweh Shai in the kingdom. Once the Lord Yahweh Shai is sitting upon his throne, he's going to tell his men, like for example, Benaniah. When King Solomon told Benaniah to go do something to them. Boy, every time I read the name Benaniah in First Kings, I started laughing because I knew somebody's gonna die. I knew he's gonna kill someone. I just didn't know who. I kept on reading. But as soon as you hear the name Benadiah, son of such and such, somebody's gonna die. You know? Somebody's gonna die. Or be brought to justice. Either you die or you be brought to justice. Either way, he's gonna get what he wants, and he's gonna get what he was sent out to do. And yeah. So those type of men, Yahweh Shai is going to send toward you. Grab your ass, snatch your ass up. Just like in that movie Riddick or Pitch Black, where the guy came and he said, kneel for me. And the Edomite, they're both Edomites by the way. But the guy, the older Edomite, he wasn't that old, but he said, no, I won't. Basically, fucking. And then, he said, okay. Then he snatched his soul. He gave him a Hebrew smack. He snatched his soul out of his body. And then everybody that saw it, they looked, they was like, oh shit. Then they start bowing. That's what's coming. The movie is called Pitch Black or Riddick. One of those two. Chronicles of Riddick. Just watch both of them. I think it's 3 movies. It was a great movie. It shouldn't have stopped. You know? But hey, all movies gotta stop at one time, right? Should have been made into a series. I actually really like that movie. I think the first one is Pitch Black, and then the other one is Chronicles of Riddick. And then I think there's 3. If I'm correct. Not sure. Yeah, even though I like the movie, I don't remember a lot of shit. So I think it was 3. It might be. It was a dope movie, trust me. Okay, don't trust me. Just believe me that I believe that it was a dope movie. You know, that's my opinion. You should believe that if you want to. Now going on, though, it says right here, Psalms 49 and 10. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person also perish also. That's in the book of Job 29. Job 9:29. Sorry. Job 9:23, where the Most High said, He killeth the good, and He killeth the bad. He killeth the righteous, and He killeth the wicked. It doesn't matter. All of them die. You know, but the righteous have hope toward immortality. The wicked Israelites, they can look forward to not having the greatness of the greater Israelites. For example, look at the talents that the Most High put upon Michael Jackson, Jordan, Tyson, all these other athletes and stuff like that, the Jakes. A lot of Jacob descendants would love to be like them. Like a real man would love to be a strong man. He would love to be strong. He wouldn't love to be weak. That's not really what a man would want. If you aren't it, that's something else. But I'm not talking about that. Because why do you think these nerdy dudes, why do you think that they love superhero movies so much? Huh? They don't love watching Barbie. You know? They love watching people with superpowers and doing superpower things. They don't even like women with superpowers. That's why they hate that girl. I forgot her name. I think she was Captain Marvel or something like that. I think it was, yeah. But yeah, the whole word Captain is already fucked up. But the original Captain Marvel was a man, and Captain Thunder was a Jake. He was actually the one that they now changed into Shazam, because the first Shazam that I know of, well, it might not have been the first, but the first that I saw was an Afro man. His name was Captain Thunder, and then his name was Captain Thunder, and then his name was changed into Shazam, and then his image was changed into a Latino brother, a Jacob descendant from the South America, and then they stayed with him. Well, not long. And then they turned him into an Edomite. But now, since recently, they turned him back into a Latin brother, which is in the cartoons, not in the movie. The movie, they took this guy. I think he's Edomite. I don't know, but he doesn't look like Latin. But the one that I'm talking about, just Google it. The Superman versus Shazam cartoon animation. You will see that he's one of the Latin tribers. So that's the real Shazam. Going to basically Captain Marvel and shit like that. Going into it, not that, but going into it. Something like that. You know, I know it's DC, but hey, whatever. I'm mixing two things together. It's a man. Captain Marvel was a man, and Shazam was a Jake. But whatever, man. They could draw whatever they want. You know, they could draw a wolf anthropopic bullshit. You know, half human, half wolf, whatever. It doesn't matter. They could do whatever they want. You know, so it doesn't matter. It's just a cartoon. So Psalms 49 and 10. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. That's the same thing in the book of Luke. The rich man that was building up all these things, and then he died. Who took his riches? Everybody else. Same thing with Michael Jackson. He was fighting for years trying to keep his catalog out of Sony's hand. And the second day he died, what did his family do? Give the rights to Sony. So, again, another great example of why you fighting for it. Why you out here trying to build up some kind of great wealth legacy or some shit like that. You don't know what's gonna happen to your money. And we're Jacob descendants. We definitely shouldn't be trying to build up riches in this world and trying to think that your shit's gonna go on for generations. You haven't been having that since when? When did generational wealth come down? Since 1614. Even before that. What family on the planet Earth that's a Jacob descendant that you know of? Even the Latin speaking brothers. Huh? Or the native speaking brothers. Which one of them do you know of that has wealth going back more than 400 years, 500 years, 600 years, 700 years? I'll wait. You don't, because there isn't. They don't have it. The wealth will be taken because that's one of the curses. The Most High is going to make sure that Esau is going to come in there and snatch your shit. Or Moab. Or Elam. Look at South America. If you see all the stores, Elam got it. And Moab. Ain't no Jake got shit, boy. You know, there's no generational wealth with a Jacob descendant. So that's another reason why you shouldn't be worshiping money. Or trying to get it or something like that. You know, make a big fuss out of it. You know, just go with the flow. Seek labor not to be rich. Because he that is rich, the Most High will give you, you have your consolation. Luke 6:24. Okay, verse 11. So Psalms 49 and 49, yeah. 49:11. So it says, oh shit. So it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. You're not gonna be around, because the Most High don't like proud people. You know, unless you believe in Him and you're proud of Him, because like King David, he was proud in Yahweh. That's in 1 Samuel 17, if I'm correct. And also in Jeremiah 29, if I'm correct, where it says that the only thing that you should be proud of is knowing the Most High. Paul was proud too. He was proud of knowing Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And he said, I'll boast also like a foolish man. You love foolish people and foolish boasting, right? Okay, then allow me to boast also. I boast of this truth and what I got and what I went through. You know, stuff like that. But he wasn't boasting to put himself over another Jacob descendant like an you know, I'm better than you because I went through this, or I have this type of knowledge. He wasn't doing that. He was talking to them stupid people. The ones that we boasted in this foolishness of the world. Look how many bitches I got. Look how many money I got. Look how many cars I got and shit like that. Look at my fancy clothing. You know, dumb shit. You know, dumb shit like that. Look how many lineups I got and how square my lineups look. And garbage. And around here, I have never met anyone around here that was talking shit about not being lined up. I never grew up with that. Never grew up with Jake's. Hey man, you need to line up your hair. Actually, wait, I think about it. A few said it. Now, flashbacks. A few said it, but not like in America, because over there it's like they want to torture you if you're not lined up. I seen that shit. Man. They all worried about their hair. They really invested in that shit, man. They really worried about their hair. It's like a big thing. Anyway, so verse 12. Nevertheless, man being without honor abideth not. Being in honor abideth not. He's like a beast that let me read it again. So Psalms 49 and 12. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like a beast that perish. Man is like a beast that perish, because you're gonna die just like animals. So animals die too. Fishes die, birds die, you die. So all the gathering that you're gathering it up for me. Why? Because rich people die. And where did they leave their riches? For the rest of the people. Look at the pharaohs. They thought they was the shit. They buried themselves with all their gold. Where's the gold now? It's right here. Here. They got museums here. Boy, they got robbed so hard. They took their shit with boats and planes, and they flew that shit all across Europe. You got it in the Netherlands. You got it in Germany. Every country in the continent, especially West Africa, actually. Especially West Europe. West Europe, they got all the stuff. I'm not really sure about East Europe. I need to look into that. I've actually never looked into that. I know about what Russia got. You know, they got the stuff, but those are not stuff from Africa. Those are things from the Jacob descendant Moors that used to be here in Europe. If you look at the map, or you type in what are the 51 countries of Europe, you will see that Russia is a part of it. But they exclude them now. But if you look at the map, you will see like a part of Russia is a part of Europe. Look at the map, you can see it for yourself. Just because they say, oh, he's not a part of us, don't mean shit. It's like saying that because your father and your mother never took care of you, and then you now say like, they're not my father and not my mother. Yeah, you can say what you want to. That's still your bloodline. You can do whatever you want. But then again, if the Heavenly Father cuts you off, like for example, Esau and Jacob, in the physical form, he is our brother, but actually he's not anymore in the spiritual form. In the physical form, that bastard has the same father and the same mother as us. But so do Ishmael. He has a different mother, by the way, but so does Ishmael. He has the same father, so he's a Hebrew. He's just not chosen. So fuck him. Verse 13, so Psalms 49 and 13. This their way is their folly, yet their posterity approveth their saying, Salah. So that's folly what they have. But their descendants, they're very glad and happy that they have these as forefathers. Well, they're happy now. Because once that time comes, every man on the planet Earth, every woman upon the planet Earth that is of Esau's descent, they're going to cry. Just like their father. They're going to cry. But now it's like, wee, look at me, I'm a leper. Once that time comes, you're not going to want to be a leper anymore. And then you're going to have Adam, Ashur, and the ones of North India with Elam and stuff like that. All of them, they're going to want to start making children with the dark Elam. They're not going to chase, because it's like South America, right? What they do there is they find the lightest ones amongst them, and then they procreate or something like that. Procreate, something shit. Pre-procreate, or is it just procreate? I need to look that shit up. Anyway, They make children with each other, right? And they do that on purpose. They call it something with the rasa, some shit like that, making it more pure. Sorry, but that's what Elam does also, and Japhet does it too. That's why the Japhetic people then they will that I don't know if it's north or south, but I do know with India it's north. So North India they do it, south they don't, because there they stay their own. They stay their own, and Sri Lanka also they stay their own, and west of well, it's not actually Australia. It's north of Australia, the islands, and then west of that. You could say northwest, okay? Northwest of Australia. There, it is actually a custom for them to have their afro hair. They say it's one of their. I'll put the link in the description box. They keep their afro there on purpose because they teach their children this is a part of our culture, the texture, anything. Like I said, I'm gonna show you the video. I'll show it to you. They do that on purpose. They do it on purpose. That shows you that they're not Jake, because Jake women would never do that shit. But anyway, they do that on purpose there as one. You know how the Hawaiian people, they love putting tattoos upon themselves, and they show like the Polynesians, whatever, and this is their part of their culture. Well, the north of Australia. Ooh, bumper! Gotcha, bitch. Well, that's an accident right there. That's what you get when you butt chase someone. You know, you need to have space, stupid. Well, that's gonna cause the traffic right there. Beautiful. Anyway, so what do is they keep that thing within themselves, and they breed it. They teach their children and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons, you should know that those are not Jacob descendant women, man. Those are Japhet. And like I said, you have two types of Japhets. You have the so-called Negro Japhet, and you have the so-called Asiatic Japhet. The Asiatic Japhet is more known, but through the power of the internet, of course, you can see the other islands, their faces, and they all look they kind of look alike, just like how we look like Hamites sometimes. You see, just sometimes we look like Mizraim, and sometimes we look like Cushites, but not. Look, you have different Kush. When I see them Cushites, I can kind of sometimes, a lot of times I can tell what Kush it is. You have Kush from Ethiopia, you have Kush from Somalia, and then you have Kush from Eritrea. The Eritrea Kush, they look like us. You have a few Somalians too, man, but then you need to go south, because the northern ones, they look different. They got like heads, the head shape is weird. It's different from us. But if you go more south, then their head shape becomes more like us. The hair becomes more like us. You'd be like, huh? You're not from Ethiopia. He is from Ethiopia. He's dark too. Most of them Ethiopians, not most. Most of the north ones are brown. The darker ones are south. And they have hair like us. But the north ones, they got the curly hair. Those are the Ethiopians from north and stuff like that. That's not our people, by the way. But still, you have amongst them, you have people that look like us and stuff like that. But most of the time, they don't. Eritrea look like us. When you look at them, you be like, this motherfucker look like he one of them Latin tribers. It look like he from, down there, South America. Some of them look like North Americans, man. Shit. North American Jakes. Afro people, all that there. You wouldn't know unless he opened his mouth. And then you hear the accent, or if he doesn't have an accent, then I don't know, you would just you wouldn't really know until he does something or says something, or he says where he's from, and then you would know. Yeah, that's how deep they go. So they look like us. Eritrea look like us. Those Kushites look like us. Somalian don't really look like us. They also, if you go down south, then their hair gets woollier and their skin gets darker. But if you go up north, their hair is curly. And I'm not. These are just geographic bullshit, because people from the north go south, and people from the south they go north. So people from the west they go to east, and people from the east go to west. So it's, I don't even want to say geographical because it's just the direction, you know. But yeah, same thing with India. North India, you have a lot of pale Esau babies, you know, and the other ones that are Elam that mix with those Esau babies, then they get children. Those children be Elam also, but they got the Esau skin, and they got the cocker skin, and all that there. So yeah, it's a whole beautiful thing if you actually put everything together and you look at the creation of the Most High, and you're looking at it like, he did that, he did that, he did that, he did all that. It's crazy. I think it's dope. I'm fascinated with that shit. I love looking at people's faces to see, to guess what they are. I love that shit. I look at them what they are, and I scan it very quick. I just look. I already know. Not know. I already have my idea. I just glance and I have an idea. I think these two, they look like sisters, but they're not. But they look like sisters. But they're not. I know they wasn't sisters, and that's why she laughed. But it was her mother. But they look like sisters. Got the same head shape. That's what I like. I look the shape, the face, the hair. I look at the hair. I look at everything, man. And then I scan and be like, what are you? That shit is fun. Yeah, anyway. That's how I play my games. I scan people. Yeah, I think I'm done. Let me see. Man, I wanted to go on and on, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just hit up a few. Okay. So I think I read the book of Baruch too, if I'm correct. I'll just read it again. So Baruch chapter 2, verse 24 until 35. So it says here 24. But we would not hearken unto thy voice to serve the king of Babylon that the Most High put over us. Romans chapter 13. Obey the powers that be, because the powers that be are ordained by the Most High. So we had to listen. Why? We didn't want to listen to the Most High. So now he put an enemy over us, and he forces us to listen to him. And if you don't, or jail, or he fed you to the lions, you know, that's because our people are stubborn. So when you see them get themselves hurt because of the stubbornness and wickedness that they do, it shouldn't be, don't cry for him, man. Fuck him. People think I'm cruel when I say stuff like, well, that Nolan guy, he should have known who the enemy is. How the fuck you got only Edomite friends, man? You stupid? There's many more of them. Many more Jakes just like that. Surrounding themselves with Esau. I could never. So, even let me not say that, man. Let me go on. So listen. To serve the king of Babylon, therefore, hast thou made good the words that thou spakest by thy servants, the prophets, namely, that the bones of our kings and the bones of our fathers should be taken out of their place. They're in museums now. And not only museums, they're just in Esau's house. Oh shit. I think I got that documentary. I'll try to find it. Now, there's a documentary that I saw, right? Where you have dead people in a fucking English mansion. I don't know, that shit's big. Some kind of crazy English mansion, right? Where they had dead bodies. Dead bodies on display. Dead bodies, man. They got dead fucking bodies on display, man. Skeletons, the flesh on it and shit like that. Mummified in the house, man. You know how you have these statues of, the shining armor of a knight? Then you have just the empty armor and then they put it on display? Well, in this house, I'll try and find it for you, if I can. They got it on display. Basically, that's what they do with our kings, man. You know, they went down there and they started digging and then they found bones and stuff like that of people, and then they put them in the museum, and they put them in wherever. They put them in where they put them in this case, a private house. I'm gonna try and find it because I don't think I saved it. I looked at it and I was like, dude, this is fucking wicked shit, man. So I didn't really pay attention to now that I'm thinking about it. Cool cut. Lord willing, I'm gonna find it, put it in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. So these things happened. These things happened to us. It happened to the Hamites. You know, they did it with every nation that they went toward, and then they started excavating, which is basically a Tomb Raider. That's why I hated that game, and I hated Indiana Jones too. You know why? Because they're thieves. They go to these countries and then they steal the graves, and then they steal the riches, and then they bring it to here, Europe, and then put them in, and then they put it in the museums and stuff like that. I hated that shit. I hated that shit. There was a game called, or there is a game called Tomb Raider. I hated that shit. And I was young too. I still hated that shit. I hated it because I saw her steal it, and then she was glorified too, just like Indiana Jones. Well, I saw Indiana first, but it's the same thing. It's the same content. They call it what? Tombs of the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The word raiders is just a fancy word of saying thief. You fucking thief. You goddamn thief. He's a raider. The Raiders. It looked like a dope word, right? It's a thief. But like I said, I saw the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I thought to myself, this guy's a glorified thief. He's stealing. And Tomb Raider also. Another thief. And they glorify too. Anyway, so it says right here, 25. And lo, they are cast out of the heat of the day, to the heat of the day. That's very disrespectful. If you read the scriptures, you will notice that the Jacob descendants loved being buried, you know, and being put out there with your ass in the open, being eaten by animals. That was a disrespectful death that you only give people that you hate. The Most High gives that to people that he hates. The house of Ahab, for example, Jehoram too. No, I mean, yeah, Jehoram, and also that's actually not what I meant, but him too. Jeroboam. Here's him too. All the dogs ate his sons and shitted them out. Verse 25. And lo, they cast out, they were, what? And lo, they are cast out in the heat of the day, and to the frost of the night, because that's what your body goes through, temperatures, heat, cold, you know, which is not calmly, because you would desire your loved ones to be buried on the ground so that they can, you know, you are more at ease. If you now go and how you call that thing? Dig up the grave of a family member of someone, boy, they're gonna be not happy with you. Even though that person might be gone 50 years. That would probably make it even worse. If you go dig up that grave again, they're not gonna be happy. That person is there's nobody there. But the thought of the sentimental attachment that they have toward that carcass, you could say, toward them bones, bone talks and harmony, yeah, it's gonna offend them. Well, that's the Jacob descendants had that. Let me go on. So it says, and they died in great misery by famine, by sword, and by pestilence. 2020. That's coming right now, right here, in this day and age, and that's what we're warning for. I'm trying to make you afraid, man. The more I read to you, the more you're supposed to be. I don't want that to happen to me. Good. That's a good mentality. That's one of the reasons I'm standing here. I'm thinking to myself like, damn. Oh, you better not stop. And it's not even about that. It's about, you know, you should want to. But you should be afraid of is the Most High. You shouldn't be afraid of the hyenas heckling and shit like that. Let them laugh. I don't need to be a lion. I want to be a tiger, so I can get you solo. I always like tigers. I love lions too, but tiger. That one is the like. No, I'm gonna try to smoke it. I'm gonna try. Cause I'm a tiger. Verse 26. And the house which is called by my name hast thou laid waste. What? And the house which is called by thy name hast thou laid waste, as it is to be seen this day, for the wickedness of the house of Israel and the wickedness of the house of Judah. Pardon. Verse 27. O Yahweh our power, thou hast dealt with us after all thy goodness, and according to all that great mercy of thine, as thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. And that's the truth, because everywhere we go, you're outnumbered. The Jacob descendants are outnumbered in any nation that you go up in, you know. And second, we don't congregate in large family-orientated groups. The heathens do that. The gypsies, they do it. Boy, you ain't coming in the midst of them. Boy, not even friends and shit like that. You ain't coming in the midst of them. And I heard that the Japanese people do the same thing too. A lot of people from Europe, they go there and then they, because they Edomites and stuff like that, but they think to make themselves friends. It's not really happening like that. You're not going into the friend circle, especially if you're a girl, like a woman. You're not going in. If you're a male, you're still not going to go in there and trying to find yourself all these friends. What they're doing is they're admiring you because they're kissing your ass because you're greater than them. And also, first and foremost, they are the women. The women come to you. If you're an Edomite male and you go there, amongst them Japanese or Koreans and stuff like that, and them Chinese, the females, they spread legs, they spread ego. That's something else. A love or fetish, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. Some of them love you beyond their own imagination. Some of them have a fetish. It doesn't matter. You're still with them. So I'm not with that shit. Like how Esau is, he hates. So what he's going to do is he's jealous too. So what he's gonna do when he sees like a pretty, or he says, yeah, only fat chicks date Jacob men, or only desperate women that have fetishes and they hate their father and shit like that. That's what you say when you're in pain. So you need to find something to justify. Oh, at least she has a fetish. Shit like that. Oh, at least she has a fetish. At least she hates her father. They can't fathom. They don't want to. They don't want to be like, oh shit, she just really loves Jake or something like that. They can't handle that shit. So they need to make up shit. I ain't doing that. I know of it. Like some of them have fetish. They say it themselves. It's fucking YouTube, man. You can see that shit. You got some chicks, they turn from the white shit. She said, for example, like, there's a lot of chicks, man. There's so many Moabite, Ammon, Moab, so Korea, Japan, and China. They come online and they talk about how they used to be in the like blinded by Esau and they want to be with him and stuff like that. But then they slowly figured out like, this is bullshit. This is not good. So they had a fetish or some shit like that. But they took care of it. And now they're talking about it and warning others, like, hey, you don't be like that. They don't really like you. You're the fetish for them, because they can't even, control their own women or love their own women, or the women don't love them. All that shit. But yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that they are, you have the Moabite females that have a fetish. Some of them do have it. But that's not my talking down point, like the jealousy shit that Esau does. Like, oh, if she didn't have a fetish, then she wouldn't be with you. It don't fucking matter. Even if she does have a fetish, so what? She's still with him. And that's hurting you. I don't give a shit if I see a Jake female with a Edomite. I don't care, man, if it's a fetish or not. I just pray to the Heavenly Father. I already did this. I don't have to do it now with every Jacob descendant female that I see with the Edomite. I don't have to do it all the time. I already prayed for her, like, hey, once that sword come, I'm gonna feast on your kids. Well, I don't have to every day say that shit. I don't care, man. Like, I only want to have fun. If I have superpowers, what are you gonna do with it, man? That's like having a super dick, but you ain't fucking bitches. Yeah. So I want to have that spiritual power, and I want to do something. I don't want Esau to have not weapons. I want him to have weapons. Because if I have that spiritual power, it's like a game, right? So you play the game and then you become too powerful, and then you start killing everybody with one hit. Bam, boom, bam, bam. That game is not really that funny no more. It's cute and shit. You know, you bust him one, punch him, chop him with one sword, and blast him with a punch. You know, with a super blaster with your hands, superpowers and shit. You know. After a while, it's not fun. Yeah, you need them to fight back. But you don't want them to win, though. They shouldn't win. Fuck that shit. That's cheating. The computer is not being fair. No, but we're gonna have that power to where, you know, they're not gonna win. So I don't have to worry about that. I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about in the game. You know, when they cheating, then they win. I hate this shit. Cause they fucking cheating. Anyway, but yeah, that's basically what we're gonna have, man. Like, you need enemies, man. I want that shit, man. I want somebody I can hate. I want to hate you, man. I want to do that, but I don't have that superpower, so I can't harm you. Not yet. Once I get that spiritual power and superpower, I want to chase you like Jason. I saw it in the movies. I want to do it too, like Fox said. Ooh, ooh. I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger bust somebody in the movie. I want to do it too. I saw Jason chasing people, and he's just walking, and they running, the breathing heavy, falling down, hiding, looking, and then he stand right there. Oh shit! Then they start running again. That's what I want. I want you running. I'm gonna chase you. Scripturally, chasing 1,000 men. You're not getting away. I want to have fun. So I need enemies, or else who we gonna fight? They need. I want them to have many weapons. Those robots that they make, the software, I want it to be more intelligent so that it knows. You know? And just like, for example, I saw Spider-Man, right? You have, I'm talking about the cartoon. You have, for example, like the Punisher. So the Punisher, he has something in his ear, like a telecommunications thing. Like a telephone shit, right? A walkie-talkie, whatever thing. So, and then he has a guy in the van, and that's the guy that's actually directing them, scanning the whole area, telling them where to go, and where the people are hiding and stuff like that. That's like the software, right? The so-called robot android thing. They're gonna send them. You know how they have the drone. Somebody is controlling the drone. Okay, cool. So then you get that drone, you break it up, and break it in pieces because you know it's tough guy shit, and then you go find the guy that is telling the drones or the other soldiers where you are, and then you find him, and then you blot out their eye, because that's going to be their eye, and it's going to be fun. How I write this out? I already got it all mapped out. The only thing I need is the Most High now to sanction my mission upon the planet Earth, my adventures. And I want to have a sword, 2 swords. All that there, I got all these plans. But I don't know if it's going to work. So I hope. But yeah. I don't care, man. You got Jake women with Esau. I don't give a shit, man. I see target practice. So have your fun, man. You got your blessings right now, and your fun, and your lust and the love in the world and all that. I want to have that too, man. At your extent, your expense. But yeah, you might think, oh, he's jealous. If you say so. Anyway, let me finish this off, man. So. Baruch chapter 2, Baruch chapter 2, and Baruch 2 and let me see, 29, if I think. If you will not hear my voice, surely this great, oh yeah, I already read that. Verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves. This is the land of our captivity. Well, in my case, but I mean like the land of, it's talking about America. But South America too, because none of the Jacob descendants belonged there. They went there. And that became their prison. The land of their captivity. But it's talking about America. And verse 31. And shall know that I am Yahweh their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. So if a Jacob descendant doesn't understand this, then you can read the scripture for yourself to comfort yourself to be like, Most High didn't give you that ear. He didn't give you that mind to be able to understand this. And that's it. You should stop right there and give him time. Certain people need time. I know people, man, this is real. I know people, man, that, I told them we almost nearly got in a fight or some shit like that because they was trying to fight for Esau, man. And that's that red pill, blue pill thing from the Matrix thing, right? They'll fight you. They're gonna fight their enemy. Then later on, come apologizing, man. Like, hey, man, shit, man. What you were saying was real, man. Pardon. Because they went through something. The Most High made them go through something in order for him to be able to see, So certain people need patience, and certain people, there's no helping them whatsoever. Anyway, so it says right here, verse 32, it says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. So it says 33. It says here, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Yahweh. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath. Oh shit, you birdie ass motherfucker. This the birds. Goddamn birds, man. Boy, this time you didn't shit on me. Anyway. Which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it, of that land, which we are in right now. You might think you own land. You don't, because you need to pay property taxes, land taxes. That land is not yours. There's like me making you pay for your girl. He does do that. He makes you pay for your girl. Or in this case, your ex that you don't have sex with. Oh shit. So what do? Is they make you pay for a girl that you're not having sex with. They make you pay until the children are 18. And sometimes without children, they still make you pay half. That's crazy. But then if I'm correct, you don't have to pay continually every month or something like that. But in certain cases, they still do that. Every month you got to pay her. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's wow. That's only Esau could do that. Only Esau could do that. Anyway, so verse 34, and I will bring them again in the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished, because we are not increased right now. I have only seen a few Jacob descendants in the 2 hours that I'm here. And it doesn't matter anyway, because you have certain places, if you go and you have a lot of Jacob descendants, they still don't give a fuck. They still ain't listening. So fuck them. Like I said, I just read it to you. Ears to hear and mind to heart to understand. Have you gotten from the Lord? The switches right here. So Baruch 2 and 31. And shall know that I am Yahweh, their power, for I will give them an heart and an ear to hear. So it doesn't matter, man. Look, I ain't trying to get like a lot of followers and stuff like that. Most of you, I'll kick you in your butt cheeks and send you on your way. Because you ain't shit anyway. But the small majority of them, you lace their boots. You carry the cross for them. And then you teach them how to carry the cross for themselves. Then my job is done. Now go and sit with the Most High, and He will sup with you further. Basically, that's the best thing that I could actually think of. Like helping them, lacing their boots, so that when they walk, they don't trip and fall. With all these goddamn doctrines that are out there, and they are damned by the Heavenly Father. He said so. I say so that is the truth. That they are damned by the Heavenly Father. He said He will famish all the gods of the earth. So they are damned. Just not yet. Well, they're damned anyway. But I mean, like in the physical form, in the minds of the people, it's like money. It's like only because they believe that money is actually really worth something. That's why the society is afloat. The money is garbage shit. It's there in debt. And if people really knew, they would panic. That's why you have this movie called 2012, where so-called the world would die with water. But then the elites they only told a few other elite people, because they literally said in the movie, like, we're not gonna announce this, because if we do, all anarchy is gonna break out. Why? Because you're gonna have people gonna be start murdering each other. They're gonna start robbing and stealing and doing this and doing crimes, because they knew that the end of the world would be coming, and then they want to do something before it all happens. You know, back in the days, I had dumb ideas. You know, back in the days, you know, you heard someone say like, "Hey, what would you do if the world would end today?" Man, I would be smoking, trying to fuck a bitch and shit. Those are the dumbass answers that you give then, because I gave answers like that. Yeah, I was trying to get a bitch and you put it in there, and while you're bursting in there, and then you die. Ah, damn. That I look back at that dumbass answer and I think to myself like, this is why I don't get mad at a lot of jakes. Some of them I can't stand much. You know, I can't stand ass, but others, not a lot of them, just others. Others, I'll be thinking to myself like, you know what? I understand. You don't know. You don't know any better. Therefore, you know, I'll be calm. I'll be cool cat with certain people. Very patient. I could be patient with you for years, man. You still ain't pissing me off. Other people, they just sneeze, man. They need to die. You know, just sneezing. I don't know. Certain people, they irritate me. On sight, their whole spirit, their mannerisms. Can't stand them. But yeah, it's just like having a favorite color. You know, it doesn't mean that. Well, in this case, it would mean it, but I don't mean it like that. But I mean, like, you know, you could have colors that. Okay, check this out. If I have a color that I really love, okay, cool. The other colors, I don't hate you. You know, but yeah, that's not a good example. Okay, I'll still use it as an example, but that's not how I actually really think. But let's say you have one color that you really like, and the others, you don't hate them. You don't like them neither. Okay, cool. But then you have a color that you'd be like, oop, that one. Basically, so that's how I see people. I don't think that about colors, by the way. I like all colors, actually. In the beginning, I only started with one, red. I hated blue. I found it ugly. I didn't like it. It didn't fit good on me. I hated that shit. Later on, I started to actually love blue. That was it. I didn't like that shit. I find it ugly. Later on, I started to find it beautiful. And then later on, I started to find blue more beautiful than red. But then, I don't know, it started balancing out. Balancing it. Wow, what the fuck was that? Balancing out. Okay, anyway. And then I started to like yellow, green, orange. I started to like all that shit, man. I like all colors now. Yeah, it's weird. Very weird. I could actually find all colors beautiful. Really weird. I didn't have this. I already have it for longer than 10 years now. But I mean, like, in the beginning, when I was younger and stuff like that, you know, in the 18s and all that there. Not even 18s, 6, 7, no. So around that age, man. 8, 9, 10, whatever, those years. Until maybe, I don't know, 20 years or something like that. Because I remember I was 18 years old, and then I went to Suriname, and I saw a dog Jake, right? He was very dark, right? And I saw him with bright ass blue. And I saw a Jake girl too. Dark again, with bright yellow clothing. And I looked at that shit, and I think like, hey, that shit is fucking beautiful. Off of him, I went and bought me a blue t-shirt. I looked in the mirror and it didn't look good on me. But I kept that t-shirt until this day. I have that t-shirt. That t-shirt is older than 20 years, man. 26 years. It's older than 26 years. It still looked beautiful because I never wore it. It never looked good on me. But that's one of the remembrances that I have, which showed me like that's the day that I found blue beautiful. Because I saw it on a dark, he was deep dark Jake. And another one was deep dark Jake woman that had a bright yellow dress on. That shit looked fucking beautiful. And the Jake with the blue looked beautiful as shit too. Like the color reflection with the skin. Since that day, I like blue. Since that day. It took another Jake for me to see it on, for me to like it. And with that Jake woman with the yellow. So from there it started to go to other colors, man. Gray. I like all shit, man. Even white. But not white people. I'm talking about the color white. Well, it's actually not a color. It's the absence of color. White is the absence of color. It doesn't have color. And black is a color because it's all colors in one. Anyway, so going on. So it says right here. By the way, this is how you could. I figured out like this is how the way you can train yourself how to like something that you normally never did. Or it could just happen like that. Like I said, I never liked it on me. Now I actually do. It's a different thing. I think I trained it or something. But loose from that, I just did. I liked it like that. But anyway, and then the other colors came afterward. You know, purple, gray, you know, brown. Of course, I love brown. Yeah, man. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. But anyway, I'm talking too much. First, last verse. So Baruch 2 and 35. Yeah, 35. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. So that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to make it to where we're going to have our own land. We're not going to be kicked out of the land no more, like Leviticus chapter 18 shows you that he did with us. We did to ourselves, you could say. No, that's true. Because we broke the law, and then the Most High broke us. broke your face. That's what Yahweh Shai did. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Melech. Double honors unto the elder apostles and great Muslim for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Shalom. Yeah.